Hello everyone, Solar Scientist here again, and welcome to Caldarius Theorycrafting week number 3 of 3. In the previous two videos, we took Caldarius's hit-and-run style of play and used his Helix Tree to turn him into a mobility and damage specialist, respectively. This week, we are going to try to have the best of both worlds. Enough hit augments to deal a solid amount of damage, alongside various run augments that allow Caldarius enough mobility to move quickly when he needs to, and to, well, blind his enemies as necessary. So, in other words, we are attempting to build Caldarius to strike at his opponents and have the full mobility package. That's why I've named this build after one of the most popular Gunpla from the Gundam Build Fighter series, Build Strike Full Package. Check out the description box below for a link to the official Gundam.info YouTube channel's playlist that contains every episode with English subtitles. So, without further ado, here is Caldarius's Build Strike Full Package. For level 1, we're going to want to go with the right option, Blind and Bloodied. Enemies affected by flashbang suffer bleed damage, plus 60 damage over 2 seconds. With this build, Caldarius's flashbang is more or less working a double shift. It's a blinding tool when you need it, with some bonus damage over time, or it's a solid ranged attack with damage over time, and a blinding effect for good measure. For level 2, we're going to want to go with the left option, Exit Strategy. Caldarius launches into the air after striking an enemy with Gravitic Burst. This is one of the essential run augments. Launching himself into the air after striking an enemy will be the first step in Caldarius's primary method of escaping combat. So, for extra safety, choose your battles wisely and try to avoid areas with low ceilings. For level 3, we're going to want to go with the right option, Overdrive. Activating any skill increases movement speed for a short time, plus 30% movement speed over 2 seconds. A 2-second movement speed buff gives Caldarius a boost for as long as his opponents are blind, or some extra breathing room after a well-timed strike with Gravitic Burst. I don't know if the buff procs after the first button press for Aerial Assault, which could make the buff useless if Caldarius doesn't dive almost as soon as he's able to, or if it procs after the second button press, which of course causes Caldarius to dive bomb into the target zone, and just in terms of skill usefulness, I hope the latter is true. For level 4, we're going to want to go with the right option, Flash Merv. Flashbang spawns 3 child grenades on impact. This is a key hit augment because at the very least, the 3 child grenades will do some amount of extra damage on top of Flashbang's base damage range. So, since Caldarius's Flashbang is, like I said before, working a double shift in this build, this augment makes its use, really in either instance, both deadlier and just more badass. At level 5, you'll have the option to choose between Gravitic Ascent, which increases the height of your second jump, or Improved Thrusters, which increases the distance of your second jump. Just like in the previous two videos, I'm not going to recommend one over the other, but I will leave this decision up to you, so just make the best choice for your environment, really. For level 6, we're going to want to go with the right option, Rapid Dominance. Reduces Flashbang's cooldown, minus 20% cooldown reduction. A shorter cooldown for the most versatile tool in Caldarius's toolbox is pretty much essential for this build. Keep in mind, the description of the other augment for this level, Kinetic Burst, implies that Gravitic Burst inherently has a knockback effect, so in the mobility department we're going to rely on that implication in conjunction with launching upward after striking with Gravitic Burst thanks to the Exit Strategy augment. But worst case scenario, and Gravitic Burst does not inherently have a knockback effect, but Caldarius launches into the air after striking anyway, so it's really not too much of a deal breaker. However, since the official description of Gravitic Burst does not mention a knockback effect, this ambiguity is, I think, cause for concern. Not alarm, but concern. For level 7, we're going to want to go with the left option, Adaptive Harmonics, which reduces Caldarius's shield recharge delay by what I'm assuming is 1.3 seconds. Also, like the previous two videos, this is the preferred augment because it shortens the time for Caldarius's shield to begin recharging, something especially useful for a squishy, albeit very capable hero. For level 8, we're going to want to go with the right option, Gravitic Stabilizers. Increases Gravitic Burst dash distance. It's just damage versus distance for this level. Both are useful, but I think increased dash distance offers more flexibility in the skill's use. You can dash further away to strike your opponent and launch into the air after striking, or dash away from your opponent to escape combat very quickly. For level 9, we're going to want to go with the right option, Bright Blaster, increases the radius of Flashbang's area of effect. As long as you're careful with your grenade placement, an increased blinding radius will be extremely helpful to disorient your opponents before you strike, or after to aid in your escape. This is especially useful since it's coupled with a dot and 3 child grenades. And finally, for level 10, we're going to want to go with the left option, Tuned Actuation. Aerial Assault now launches instantly, reduces aerial assault cooldown, minus 20% cooldown reduction. Instant launch, shorter cooldown, what's not to love? While this augment doesn't add an additional damage source to aerial assault, it's sure to catch your opponents off guard when you ascend and strike in rapid succession. For me, personally, I think the speed with which I can activate aerial assault and dive bomb into my enemies outweighs an additional dot in an area where my opponents may be able to escape because the skill would still take a second to ascend into position, which could be all the time they need to scatter, thus dramatically reducing the skill's effectiveness at multiple simultaneous enemy elimination. So, if you like what you saw/heard today, or maybe you're a fan of multiple simultaneous enemy elimination, do me a favor and click that thumbs up button. And now that we've reached the end of my Caldarius series, leave a comment for me down below. Let me know which build was your favorite and why. And finally, please subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. I enjoy the hell out of making Battleborn content, and I look forward to making more after the closed technical test is complete. Next week, I will return to my usual upload schedule, but stay tuned for one more video this week, which should be up Friday or Saturday, that will detail my content for the duration of the test if it proves to be lengthy. So, until then, go watch Gundam Build Fighters, and thank you very much for watching.